About a week before I started my Zepbound journey, my husband asked me a question that cut me to my core. It was a question that had the power to derail my success even before I started. It was a question that challenged who I was and what I was capable of. And it was really tied to the work that I do in the world, which has always been, tied to my self esteem and self worth. Now, I boil down self esteem to stories, right? Because stories are powerful. They impact the way that we see the world and the way we see ourselves. Some stories can keep you stuck, some stories limit your belief in yourself. And some stories really want you to play small in any environments that you're in. But the most important stories are the ones we tell ourselves, because these stories have the power to derail our inevitable success. And I think everyone who's on this journey has inevitable success. Um, but the stories that we tell ourselves can derail that if we let them. And in today's episode, I really want to share some stories that have impacted me on this journey of the Zepbound journey with all of you. Hello, bold, brave, and brilliant ladies and gents. Thank you so much for tuning in to Zepbound with Ange. I'm Angela Durant, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of a teenage boy. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm currently taking the obesity medication by Eli Lilly called Zepbound. I started my journey about 7 weeks ago. Can you believe 7 weeks ago? Time is just flying by. But at my highest recorded weight, I was 331 pounds. Now, any of you have gone up and down the scale, you know that sometimes you're even heavier than that, but you just don't step on the scale. But the highest recorded weight was 331 pounds. I have had not one, but two bariatric surgeries. I had the lap band done in 2009, in which I lost 157 pounds. And I had, excuse me, the gastric bypass surgery 10 years later in 2019, and I lost about 30 pounds with that. I started this journey on Zepbound at a weight of 296 pounds. So that is the weight that we track the loss from, right? Based on Zepbound. So about 7 weeks ago, I weighed in, I was 296. And so that is my Zepbound starting weight. I'm currently taking 10 milligrams of Zepbound. It ranges from 2.5 milligrams all the way up to 15 at the highest right now. But I am on 10, and this is my first month on 10. Let's see what else. What else do you need to know? Oh, normally today is not my weigh-in day. I take my injections on Thursdays, and I weigh myself. My official weigh-in day is Thursday. But since I knew I was coming on to make a video for you, I did go ahead and weigh in, and I am, drumroll please, I am 2 pounds down from the last time, from last week. And that puts my total weight loss down to 22.4 pounds. 22.4 pounds. Yay! So I'm excited about that. The scale is moving in the right direction. And as far as food, because a lot of you are saying, well, what are you eating? Like, what's your routine? What are you? And so for food, I'm trying to make my food choices a lifestyle, right? I want it to be as normal as possible. So I'm trying to eat like I would normally eat. However, I'm always thinking protein first. And I'm also, and I eat, normal stuff, right? Protein first, but a lot of chicken, ground turkey, along with, I do eat some pasta and veggies and things like that, and fruit. Not a ton of carbs, but I do have carbs. And then my exercise routine, I do cardio and some strength training about 5 days a week is what I'm doing, but not for long periods of time. Maybe I'm on the treadmill for 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and then I do reps in the gym to so that I can maintain some muscle mass. Because if you've been on this journey, you know that a lot of us tend to, when we're losing weight fast, we lose muscle mass. So I'm working on maintaining that. If you are someone who has struggled all your life, or maybe since you had a child, or maybe something happened and you couldn't be physically active and you started gaining weight, if that is your case, or if you're just curious about this new cutting edge weight loss medication, if you are already on drugs like Zepbound, Wegovy, Saxenda, Ozempic, or Mounjaro, you are in the right place. If you're looking for a community of people who are like-minded, who understand, who get it, who understand terms like head hunger, right? We get that, and you are welcome here. I'm so happy that you decided to stop in and check out this episode. And if you've been following us for a while, new or recently, please hit the subscribe button, share it if there are people who need to hear this message, and if you like it, then give me a thumbs up. So thank you so much. I want to be able to have YouTube, the algorithm, share it with more people. So let's go ahead and jump in. So what was it that my husband actually said? What was it that he actually said? Well, as an entrepreneur, I'm actually a brand strategist, right? So this all connects. These all connect all the dots for you. I'm actually a brand strategist, and I'm the founder of a movement called the Be Brilliant movement, where I help amazing women and a few brilliant men build their brands from the inside out so that they show up really powerfully in business and in life, right? And what my husband asked me was, and sometimes questions can be really powerful, and before I tell you what he asked me, let me just say I adore my husband, right? And he is a wonderful man. We are very different. He is very serious, right? And he's never had an issue with his weight. Like, he can drop a pound in a hot second. Hops on his bike. He eats well. He's a healthy man, right? But he doesn't understand this world, this universe that we live in. He doesn't understand it. And so his approach may come across as harsh sometimes, but I know that he is a very loving and caring person, and he only wants to see me win, right? And I'm sure your family and friends, they just want to see you win at the end of the day, right? But the question that he asked really hit me in the heart, right? And that was, he said, based on what I do in the world, I just explained to you, he said, aren't you the founder of the Be Brilliant movement? Shouldn't you be brilliant in every area of your life too? Oh, wow. These words were really heavy. Um, Ouch, right? Ouch, right? For sure. Really heavy. And it kind of reminded me of that movie. If you ever saw Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino plays Colonel Slade, and whenever something heavy is dropped on him, he makes this sound. He responds with a whoo, right? That's how I felt when he said that. Me going on yet another weight loss journey was like this elephant in the room, right? An elephant that was carrying questions on its back, and about to trample, this elephant about to trample all over my self-esteem, right? Questions like, are you going to pay all that money out of pocket for this medication and give up before you start seeing results, right? Or will Zepbound really work for you? Or will you work really, really hard, take off all this weight, only to regain every single pound and more, right? Questions like, these are questions just going through my head based on the conversation that we were having. that question that's I've been thinking about over this past 7 weeks is, can you be brilliant and fat? Like, can you be, just amazing and still be carrying away around all these this weight? Can you be great in all these other areas of your life and be failing over here? Right? Well, we know the answer to that, right? But losing weight can also, I want to also take you down the other street, right? Because losing weight can also warp your sense of identity. For a long time, my focus was never on my aesthetic, right? It was always on education, being accomplished, having a good job, right? Doing well, being someone who's respected in their industry, right? It wasn't about beauty, right? I just didn't think that those were the cards that I was dealt, right? I have really pretty friends, pretty very attractive friends. I'm the smart friend, right? Right. And that's where I invested my time and my energy, right? And so, but let me just say, when I lost 157 pounds and started getting attention, it was like I'd entered a new world, right? A space for VIPs where gentlemen carried your bags and opened doors for you, where other women didn't look through you or ignore you, but they looked into your eyes, they smiled and greeted you kindly. This was a new world, right? A space where you were seen, heard, and valued, right? It was a world that I struggled to navigate because on the inside, I felt like I was the same person. But on the outside, my body had been completely transformed, right? I used to joke around and say to my friends, man, God knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing when he gave me this figure, because if I had your legs, if I had your physique, if I had all that going on, I'd be a bit much, right? I'd be the first one to put on my thigh high boots, my Daisy Dukes, a shirt buttoned down halfway, and tied in a knot in the front with a blazer, because you got to keep it class. I will wear a blazer, right? But that's about it, right? And my friends would have to say, "Can you please put some clothes on? Could you please, we going to church? Could you not wear that to church?" Right? Right. So, things can be different on the other side too, for your self-esteem and how you see yourself. And sometimes I think it takes your mind time to catch up with your body, depending on how quickly you're losing the weight. But the other thing that I think is strange is how I could be one of the biggest persons in the room, but people treat me like I'm invisible when I'm overweight, right? Like they don't even see me, that I don't even exist. Like I'm the invisible woman, right? When I'm heavier, I'm still the same person on the inside, but on the outside, it's different. It's almost like there's a currency that comes with being thinner or more fit, right? And so the stories that play out, the stories that we tell ourselves are powerful, and those stories can take down even the strongest of titans in almost any given situation, right? But they also have the ability to keep us on track, right? The stories that we tell ourselves can also inspire you to keep going when you want to quit, right? And to lift you up when you fall down, right? Because we all fall down, right? The stories you're telling yourself today can cause you to crumble, or can make you like Teflon, where nothing anyone can say or do or can downplay who you know yourself to be, who you were created to be, and the giant of a person who lives within you, right? Who you are on the inside. I will tell you, it's a mixed bag, right? Because, you want to make sure that you're built up from the inside out. And the stories that you tell yourself can propel you forward or it can hold you back. I remember once I was working as a contractor, and went to this building once a week, and there was this guy who worked there. We'll call him Stefan, right? This beautiful man, inside and out, really good person, but physically very attractive. And I remember he'd walk through the lobby, and all of us women would be sitting out there in the waiting room. We'd talk and everything. But when he walked through the lobby and he said hello to all of us, when he went by, we were like, woo, that man is fine. He is so fine. He smells so good. He smells so good. Now, this was way before my husband. It was way before my husband. But I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying he was a gorgeous man, and he was just so kind. And I remember one day I had to take some things, I had to load up my trunk with some things that were heavy, and he carried them for me. He carried them for me, and I opened up the trunk. He placed the items in the car. And before I could close the trunk, he was looking at me, and he said to me, he looked in my eyes and he said, "You are a beautiful woman." And I didn't know, I didn't know what to do with that, right? Because although my body had taken this transformation of 157 pounds, I I still was the same person inside. And so I quickly closed I said thank you. I closed the trunk of the door of the car, hopped in, and sped off, right? And then when I got home, I was like, Mom, you're not gonna believe what happened. This man said, Stefan, she knew who Stefan was. Stefan said, "You are a beautiful woman." And it was the way that he said it was like he meant it, right? And that he could see me, right? He could see something in me that I couldn't even see in myself, right? And we would go on to be friends, just friends, and wonderful man. Oh, but he smells so good. But okay. I don't know. Let me stay on track. But my point is that I didn't even know. I didn't make the connection. I didn't, between my head and my body, I didn't even make that connection. And all of you who are here are going on a journey of transformation as well, right? And so the story that I had been telling myself up until that point was, a guy like Stefan is out of your league, Ange. Like, you go for the smart guys. Like, you go, they're still nice. They're nice. I love a nice man. But I never even would have thought that I would have caught his attention, right? Because of the stories that we tell ourselves, right? Now, maybe if I was somebody like Lizzo, I probably would have snatched them right up, right? With no problem, right? But that wasn't how I saw myself, right? So stories are very powerful. And so I want you to take a moment today and think about the stories that you're telling yourself, right? And understand that you are going to be going through this transformation physically. And whether you go at a slower pace, you go at a faster pace, we're all different, right? We're all going to go lose different amounts of weight each week, right? Some weeks you may go up, some weeks you may go down, but it is a transformation, right? And sometimes it takes our self-esteem, our mindset, time to catch up with that. So to the question, can you be brilliant even if you struggle with your weight, right? That was the question. That was the powerful question that was asked, that I kept asking myself over these past 7 weeks. Even though I feel good, when I see the number on the scale, I feel good. But what about when the number doesn't go up on the scale, right? And to that I say, yes, absolutely yes. Because brilliance isn't a number on a scale. Being brilliant isn't perfection. Brilliance is about shining one's light and giving others permission to shine theirs too, right? Being brilliant is about not dimming your light. And I will say, like, there have been times in my life, especially summertime, when everybody's in their cute bikinis and I want to go get in the pool, but I'm not comfortable, so I cover up, right? So, there are times when I've dimmed my light, but that's not what we're called to do, right? And as long as we keep showing up with boldness and courage, despite the number on the scale, despite how others may see us, despite whether or not they have faith that this time this is going to be the time that you stick to it. This is going to be the time that you take the weight off and you keep the weight off. Despite any of that, despite whether they know you're taking weight loss medication, whether you want to tell them or not, right? Despite any of those things. The number on the scale, despite any of the other things, what people say, whatever, right? As long as we are the authors of our own stories, and those stories empower us to be a little bit better every day, just a little bit better, 1% every day, then I believe our success on this journey of transformation will be inevitable, that we'll all lose the weight that we need to lose because the statistics are such that it says that it works, right? But we got to tell ourselves the right stories. A few people have posted in my in the comments that they've been on 2.5, they've been on 5, they're not losing weight, and they feel like just throwing in the towel. And I would say that to check the stories you're telling yourself. Because just the fact that you're trying, that you may have fallen down and you got back up and you're still pursuing this, tells me that, you can do this, that the timing might not be the same for everybody, but you can still do this. But the stories that we tell ourselves will make us tell ourselves that we can't do it, and you quit. And maybe you quit like right before you strike gold, right? And I don't want that to happen to you either. So I'm not a doctor. I'm just one girl sharing her story with all of you on this journey with all of you, who has the same struggles that each and every one of you have around food, around obesity. So if you're not on the medication, you're considering it, you want to learn more, please talk to your doctor about it and all the side effects and everything else, because there's a lot to it. But I congratulate you for those of you who are brave, bold, and brilliant, who have already gone out there and are doing the doggone thing and are telling yourselves the stories that propel you forward instead of the ones that keep you stuck. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the wonderful comments and encouragement. I love, love, love them. Keep them coming. If you have questions, let me know. If there's a certain type of episodes you want me to record, let me know that as well. And if you have been on this journey for a year or longer, please connect with me, because I definitely want to talk with you. I hope that this episode has added value to you. I hope it has encouraged you, because that's always my desire for you to be encouraged. And with that, thank you for tuning in. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.